Carmen, a talented pastry chef, gets paired with Chef Jax to work on a grand Christmas event. They can't agree on anything, till it's time for them to sort their differences for the greater good. Carmen drops by Sue's cafe with supplies. She asks Sue and her grandma, Rita, to enjoy their Christmas shopping while she handles the cafe. Her regular customers, Victor and Shirley Flores, drop by for some treats. Victor has been craving a sweet bread roll his grandma used to make in Puerto Rico. He loves how Carmen's bread tastes the same. Carmen's family owned a poster shop in Puerto Rico, so all her recipes have been passed down from generations. Victor informs Carmen about his Landsby View Hotel hosting an annual Christmas gala. This event gives a lot of exposure to upcoming chefs. The food critic, Ana Maria Garza, is sponsoring it. Victor and Shirley think Carmen should be interviewed for the job. Carmen doesn't think she's qualified enough, but they seem sure she is the kind of chef they need. Carmen's sister Pilar knows that the fundraising gala is the social event of the holiday season. She pushes Carmen to interview for it and ropes in Rita and Sue to encourage her. Pilar signs Carmen up anyway and lies about her having a degree in the culinary arts. When Carmen gets home, her parents, Esperanza and Luis, are equally excited about the possibility of her participating in this event. Pilar's husband, Jorge, asks Carmen to feature his specialties too. On Monday, Carmen brings a plate full of cookies for the interview. She runs into another chef, Jax, who seems to be in a hurry. All other chefs seem properly dressed and think Jax is a huge threat to them in this competition. Carmen learns that Jax and his friend Ben are known as the unstoppable dinner duo. Victor and Shirley ask all the chefs to set up their stations. They're supposed to cook their personal best dishes, so an executive chef and a pastry chef can be chosen for the event. Carmen gets intimidated when all the chefs pull out their ingredients. She isn't prepared to cook, but Jax assures her that the kitchen has all the ingredients. Carmen struggles to figure out what she can do, till she spots the jar of pineapple chunks Pilar put in her bag. As the rest of the chefs present their fancy plates, Carmen adds a flower decoration to her cake. Jax and Ben seem curious about her schooling, so she makes up a culinary school she attended. Ben is proud of the fact that he and Jax have graduated from the best culinary institute in the country. After the tasting, Victor and Shirley decide to give Jax the executive chef position. No one can believe when Carmen is chosen as the pastry chef. They seem confident that Carmen and Jax will make a great team. They want the executive and pastry chef to work as equals for this event. They want as many desserts as main courses. The idea is to have a menu that reflects both their cooking styles. Finally, only the dishes they both approve will be chosen for the menu. Carmen tries to give her input, but Jax already has a plan for the menu. She reminds him they're supposed to work on this together. She also thinks the menu should be festive since the event is on Christmas Day. Jax somewhat agrees with her, so Carmen brags about having experience with large-scale events. Since she doesn't have any ideas yet, she asks Jax to meet her in the morning. When she offers him a cookie, Jax is surprised about how good it tastes. She heads back to Sue's cafe to celebrate with Pilar. The next morning, Jax disapproves of Carmen turning up 3 minutes late. She doesn't want to apologize for stopping by a Christmas pop-up. Jax instantly gets to work and asks her to take notes for the category of dishes they will serve. As he gets more organized in his speech, she refuses to work that way. He suggests coming up with dishes, but neither of them thinks the other's dish is appropriate. After a while, they're left with a pile of rejected ideas. Jax feels frustrated because his discussions with Ben are usually easier. When Carmen points out that she got selected, he apologizes for being rude. She suggests getting inspired for the menu, but Jax wants to be more organized for an event of this scale. When she mentions that her palette guides her cooking, he knows she has never worked on such an event before. He still asks her to think of desserts while he takes care of the rest. She thinks that gives him the upper hand, but Jax believes that's how it should be with executive chefs. He still agrees to eventually find a pairing of their ideas that they both can agree on. Carmen rants to Pilar about how superior Jax acts around her. Jax is also frustrated with how unorganized she is. Pilar suggests Carmen should find a way to make Jax comfortable with her energy. Rita also thinks Jax and Carmen can learn a lot from each other. Jax wonders which culinary school she went to, if it taught her to follow her heart. He realizes that's how she is, but admits that she makes great cookies. When Ben tries to show him some restaurant layouts, he's still obsessed with Carmen. The next morning, Jax finds Carmen already setting up the kitchen when he arrives. They finally agree that cooking seems better than brainstorming. Jax shares that he's postponing his family holiday plans for this event. On the other hand, Carmen can't imagine Christmas without a huge family gathering. In her family, Pilar is the only one who doesn't cook. Jax's grandma used to cook, but his parents aren't too big on making food themselves. He notices how clumsy Carmen is and helps her out with towels. Carmen gets worked up and admits she's not used to sharing a kitchen. When Jax points out that she must have shared it in culinary school, she gets even more nervous. Jax asks Carmen to taste his dishes, but she thinks they're missing some holiday spirit. When he tries hers, he thinks they should be presented in a more sophisticated manner. Shirley drops by with a list of all the cooks and sous chefs working with them. When she asks for their ingredients, they're forced to admit that the menu is still not final. She has faith in them to figure this out anyway. She loves their work till now, but thinks the menu seems inconsistent. When she leaves, Jax seems anxious about getting work done on time. Carmen has a family dinner that night, so she invites him over so he can learn more about her. Rita is more than glad to set up another plate, and Jax easily fits in with her family. He takes culinary tips from them and understands why Carmen is so passionate about food. The following day, Jax feels grateful that she gave him the chance to try authentic Puerto Rican cuisine. Carmen knows of all the good places and takes him to a street stall with the best empanadas. Jax instantly loves the taste and tries to figure out the ingredients. Carmen still thinks the most important ingredient in a recipe is a chef's passion. This makes Jax realize that pastries can also be meals. They discuss their past and how Jax shifted there from New York to be closer to his family. Carmen suddenly remembers that she needs a present for Rita. Jax suggests getting a locket with tiny photos, just like his grandma used to have. His grandma taught him how to cook, and he remembers making Christmas dinner with her. Carmen gets inspired by this story and buys a huge Christmas tree for their kitchen. With the empanadas still on his mind, Jax asks Carmen to suggest some pastry-type appetizers for their menu. The next time Carmen arrives at Sue's cafe, she finds Pilar in tears. Sue is moving to Puerto Rico with her family and needs to sell the cafe by the end of the year. In the kitchen, Jax subtly suggests that he needs her desserts to be less Christmassy. They decide to find a balance, so they contribute equally to the menu. He discusses his list for the sous chef, but Carmen mentions she has never worked with one. Just as he's confused, Shirley asks them to finalize their orders by that night. Jax has been constantly updating his grocery list and asks Carmen to make sure she does too. She seems distracted and admits that she's worried about Sue's cafe. She plans to make guava pastelito to cheer Pilar up. Jax asks Carmen to teach him how to make it, so she takes him to the farmer's market to look for guavas. They run into Ben, who clarifies that he was Jax's partner before he became his sous chef. Jax and Carmen prepare the dish and bring it to Pilar in the cafe. Jax wonders why either of them doesn't take over after Sue, since he loves the place. Carmen clarifies that they can't afford it yet. Pilar is still excited about Jax's new restaurant with Ben and asks him to hire her. The next morning, Carmen is hard at work when Jax arrives. She lends him her extra apron since he forgot his chef's coat. Jax makes her taste the guava chutney he made from their leftovers. Carmen loves it so much that she wants to add it to their menu. Victor and Shirley drop by for the tasting and love that they have incorporated a Christmas tree. They feel like something is missing from the menu, but can't describe what it is. They are worried that Anna might also figure out the issue if they did. Humbled by this review, Carmen and Jax are determined to fix this issue. As Jax gets frustrated, Carmen offers to work all night to help him out. To make her understand why this event is so important, he takes her to his old restaurant that shut down in 4 months. He worked very hard on this restaurant that he started with Ben. All 47 of his employees were disappointed when it shut down so soon. Jax puts everything into his dream restaurant, which is why he's afraid of failing again with Ben. Carmen knows that Jax wants a second chance with this event and assures him he will not fail this time. She asks him to dance with her since he's so stressed. He wants to keep working, but Carmen knows getting out of his head is the best idea. When she asks him to find the passion in his heart, he starts dancing with her. They get close enough to kiss, but feel awkward and decide to work again. From that point, Carmen is less clumsy in the kitchen and much more organized. Jax, on the other hand, seems a lot more relaxed like she taught him. They finally feel confident that the guests will love their menu. Since it's Christmas Eve, Carmen's family has huge plans for the night. She invites Jax over since her family already loves him. He learns that they attend midnight mass, and everyone comes out of the house to sing carols. Back at home, Carmen watches as Jax lets go and keeps dancing. Rita suggests a special cocktail for him and offers to bring all the dishes they have prepared. Rita loves that Jax is enjoying himself and has noticed that he makes Carmen happy. Jax thanks Carmen for letting him be a part of her family's celebration. He knows that irrespective of what happens at the event the next day, he has a lot of respect for her. When Carmen admits that she lied about going to culinary school, Jax already knows that. He figured it out after learning a lot of details about her in the kitchen. He doesn't care about her qualifications, because he knows she has learned from the best in her family. According to him, she's much better than all the chefs he has worked with. On Christmas Day, Jax gifts Carmen a chef's coat. She also gives him something fun before they get to work. Carmen soon realizes that her groceries are missing. Jax gets angry that she didn't fill out her order form when he specifically asked her to. Carmen decides to buy something herself, but he reminds her that nothing is open on Christmas morning. When he makes a comment about expecting a slip-up like this from her, she gets offended. She throws her chef's coat and refuses to work with him. She runs to Sue's cafe and cries her heart out. Sue assures her she doesn't need to feel inferior because she doesn't have a degree. Carmen is worried she'll always be a failure and never succeed in her business with mistakes like this. Sue calms her down and asks her to take any ingredient she might need from her store. When Carmen gets back to the kitchen with Pilar, she asks Jax and Ben to make room for them. Anna, the food critic, turns up at the venue where Victor and Shirley make room for her. Jax apologizes for what he said to Carmen earlier while he was frustrated. She's not worried anymore because she realized that they needed inspiration to improve their menu. She now knows that he inspires her to be better and thinks they can create something magical for the guests. Jax admits that she already won him over when she threw her cookies at him. Victor and Shirley love their samples and wonder what changed in the menu. Jax and Carmen explain that they decided to create a fusion and blend their ingredients to make something great. They have even worked out a balance on the quantity and quality of presentation in their dishes. When everyone is done eating, Jax and Carmen learn that Anna loves their food. Carmen thanks Pilar for her help, but Pilar just wants Carmen to hire her at her new restaurant. Ben also praises Carmen for being an amazing chef and admits that he loved working with her. Victor reveals that their menu was a hit with everyone. He introduces them to Anna, who praises how talented they are. Victor has already heard from restaurant owners who want to hire Carmen and Jax. He assures them their culinary future will only be on the rise from this point. Shirley also knows that they've put their heart into these plates. As Carmen and Jax celebrate in the kitchen, he reminds her that they forgot a tree topper. When he takes out a mistletoe, Carmen knows it's a hint to kiss him. 1 year later, all of them are working in Carmen's cafe, which was Sue's cafe earlier.